All right, ARCA at Chicago Street Course. Interesting combo. Um, I am a few seconds off of the absolute aliens, and I am not going to try to get any further. This is going to be just a good baseline for you guys, so I'm just going to play it the lap as is, and we will go from there. Let me do. Okay, that's all good. Okay, so I go second through here. Third, fourth, third, second, third, fourth, third, second, third, fourth, third, second. I keep it here. I keep second for the rest of the lap. Third and fourth. Okay, so that's the lap. A very clean lap, very slow lap. I think you can push all the braking zones quite a bit further, but I was just trying to get a clean lap in for this purpose. And I think I got the gears and the lines to my knowledge. So my braking point here, this is about as much as I push a braking point in this track. I brake at about the double, the little turning arrows here. If you reach the 4, it's too late. I try to stay wide and then cut in, but sometimes, like here, I broke a little early. So when I brake a little early and slow my car down a little early, I go with a little shallower entry and then try to carry some speed off the corner by throttling early. If I'm like really, if I'm a little late to the brakes, then I keep my wheels straight and I turn in later. I think it's better to do that, but it's just a lot harder to do in my opinion. It's a lot easier to mess up. So if you're a little bit later on the brakes, you can turn in later, cut in, get that straighter exit going, but you have to be off your full brake until like 40-30%, even less than that when you start turning. And the more you're turning, the less brake you can have. So that's what kind of makes the wider difficult. Same thing with here. There's a little bit narrower of an exit here, so I can see why you would want to enter a little bit wider than me. Later apex in these corners is probably good. It's just something that's easier said than done, in my opinion. Okay, right before I get to the 4, I get on the brakes, and then the more you have the wheel turn, the less brake you can have. So with the straight wheel, you can have about an 80 to 90% brake in this car. With a little bit of turn like this, has to be like 50 to 60. So I'm immediately going from 4th to 3rd to 2nd. I need to be into 2nd before I turn in. And I'm just aiming for the inside of here, but I need to be able to see my target, the red out here. If you can't see the red when you're apexing, then you're going to hit the wall. And then there's like a sneaky second apex here, so it's easy to try to cut this right here, but you have to wait a little bit and cut the second one. Braking a little bit before the 4 and where the wall starts to jut off here. You can probably push the braking zone like right here and make it work. Again, most of my braking zones you can probably push forward. Same idea as all of these other 90-degree corners. Try to apex a little late, get the straight run off. I keep it in second here because the 2 downshifts kind of makes for a really dumb right turn here. You don't get anything really by going to third. Slow a little bit more than you think because you're going downhill, and the road off of here is extremely narrow. So turn in even later, and you won't hit that wall. Here, very easy to try to just drive through this and then hit the wall on the other side. So you have to do a little bit of a cut into here. And then I like to go for a little bit of a diamond line here. There's a part of this curved wall which gets a little bit straight. So it's round, 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 round. And then there's like a little straight bit right here. That straight bit tells me when I have to turn back in. So I'm making sure to cut back in on my diamond at the end of that straight bit. Keep it in second. Aggressive out to the wall here. And then just another right-hander. This is going to be a similar one to the last one because it's pretty narrow. Not a lot of room. And then another right-hander, but this one has a little bit more room. So overall, it's about taking those right-handers as late of an apex as possible without disengaging your tires. Easier said than done, so if you have to be a little bit more conservative in your entries to get that, that's probably for the best in terms of a race. In terms of chasing lap time, though, pushing those brake points but not locking up your brakes, managing how much steering you are versus your braking, that's all going to be important. All right, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day. Hope to see you all on the track.